folks, and welcome back to the channel. So, watches from movies. Casio, like everybody else, have been re-releasing a lot of their back catalogue, and this one is from the Casio Vintage range. And as you would have seen from the beginning, this one kind of comes from Jurassic Park, but kind of doesn't. It's very, very close to the one that Denis Nedry, the computer guy in Jurassic Park, wore. Now, the one that he wore was actually the DBX-112, and if you can find one of those, because of their kind of tie-in with Jurassic Park, they are around about 300 GBP, and they're... Yeah, right, okay. You've got to be a bit of a serious collector and a bit nerdy to go down that route. So, here we go. This is the Casio DBC-32, and it's a data bank, and aesthetically it is very, very close to the one that Denis Nedry wore in Jurassic Park when he had problems with the Dilophosaurus, I believe it was called. But there, yeah, you shouldn't go kind of stealing stuff. Anyway, what's it like? What's it like, and how close is it? Like I said, aesthetically it's very close. The differences are in the module. The DBX-112 had it was more data storage, I believe, was what it is, and the layout of the actual the screen itself was slightly different insofar as at the top it didn't have the day. It had various kind of data points, but other than that, the size and the actual overall aesthetic is very much the same. So if you're into your movies and you want to be a bit nerdy and you fancy something really cool, go and grab yourself one of these. Size wise, at the widest point it is 36.5 millimeters. At the narrowest point, 30.3. We've got a lug-to-lug of 50.8 millimeters, and we've got a thickness at the thickest point of 12.3, and that includes the flat, or it is curved, but curved that way, not that way, a piece of acrylic crystal. We've got a lug width of 22 millimeters, although it does flare out to 25. And an overall weight of 62 grams. So let's move in and see exactly what we have got. So there we go. Casio multilingual data bank with a 10-year battery life. It has, on its data storage, it has 13 languages, which is pretty cool, very useful. And as you can see, we have a built-in calculator, and the calculator is one of those things, really. I mean, you're probably never going to use it because everybody's got a calculator on the phone, and to be honest with you, you really need something incredibly small to use these. It's not what you would call a usable calculator, although it does work. Right, okay, so as you can see from the layout on the screen, what's the correct terminology? Let me know in the comments. We have the day at the top, and just next to that you have various functions that indicates whether those functions are on or off. It has an automatic light, which I've got turned off because I find it very annoying that every time you turn your wrist the light comes on, and it has the mute, and then moving down, we've got the time, your current time on the left, and then your running seconds on the right. Down on the bottom left, we have the year, and then the date, which today is the 12th of March. And then you've got Illuminator written, which is actually etched into the case, which is all resin. To scroll through your functions, it's this bottom button here. I'm not going to go through the setup and everything like that. That's another entire video, because you know, as cheap and cheerful as these are, there's a lot to do. So that's your main time, and then you go through to your data storage section, and then you go through to your calculator. And as you can see, the time remains in the bottom left corner at all times, which is a pretty handy thing to have. Then you have your alarm function. There's 5 alarms available on this. Then you have a stopwatch, and then you have your dual time. So we have a dual time as well, which is very handy. This one is set to Eastern Standard Time, and then you go back to your normal time. So yeah, I mean, it is it's just a fun piece, really. I mean, these come in at kind of just under 50 quid. I mean, there's finishing wise, I mean, they are what they are. I mean, they're made of resin. As you can see, we kind of have female end links, so that 50.8 millimeter is 50.8 millimeter, and it doesn't wear too bad on the wrist. It actually wears very well, and because there's no weight in it, it is really comfortable. You kind of forget that you get it on. Bracelet, 25mm here with this really aggressive taper, which comes all the way down to 16mm at the clasp. And as you can see, the finishing on that bracelet is actually not bad at all. It is folded links, as you would expect, and we have 8 levels of micro adjust. And we open that up and we get your pressed clasp, and then on the case back you have all your information on the back there, your model number, the how many languages it's got, etc, etc. 4 screws to hold that case back on, and 22mm lug width. So if you wanted to, if you can squeeze a strap in there, maybe a silicone or something like that, maybe even a kind of NATO style strap, you could probably do that as well. Although that shape there would probably that if you put a NATO or anything like that on it, it's probably going to kind of sit a bit weird. I've not tried it myself, but yeah, it can be done. It does have a backlight. It's as you would think, because it's an illuminator. So we'll drop the lights down and we'll have a quick look at that. Well, we would do if it was dark. But there we go. So yeah, that's pretty useful. Stays on for 3 seconds. You get a choice. You can set it for you know, how long that you want the backlight to stay on for. But yeah, it's just a fun piece, and you know, I think it is really close to the watch that Denis Nedry wore in Jurassic Park, and at 50 quid, it's a lot cheaper than trying to find one of the original DBX-112s. And as I said, the difference is mainly in the module. The strap is slightly different as well. It's more of a flat link strap on the original, but there is the one that there's a stainless steel version of the one that Marty McFly wore in Back to the Future, and the strap off of that, which is a flat link, will fit this. So if you wanted to buy the two and swap the straps around, you could do that. If that's getting a bit nerdy, but you know, isn't that kind of what watch collecting is all about? It's all a bit nerdy and a bit of fun, and that, as far as I can tell, and as far as I'm concerned, that is the kind of the pros of this, or anything like this, really. It's a fun element, and you know, anybody that is a watch collector, they see you wearing one of these, you know, it's kind of, if you know, you know. Cons wise, I mean, is there really any cons? It's just a watch in your box that's going to make you smile when you put it on. The calculator, I suppose you could say that's kind of pretty unusable. I mean, it's not, you can use it, but you do have to really concentrate, or use something really small to push the buttons. Otherwise, you've got fingers like mine, you end up pushing 2 or 3 buttons at a time. But yeah, I think it's I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun. But yeah, let me know what you think. Stick your thoughts in the comments section, and don't be roasting me about the DBX-112 and how fantastic it is compared to that, because that's not what this is about. Because, you know, people call the Casio Royale, it's got something to do with you know, James Bond and being used in Casino Royale. Well, that wasn't even a Casio, that was a Seiko. So if that can make it as a movie watch, so can this. Yes, Casio DBC-32 Databank. Let me know what you think, and any other movie watches that are kind of a bit under the radar. Like I said, you know, there's all these others, you know, we know about James Bond and his Rolex and Omegas. and other G-Shocks. G-Shocks seem to be in movies. There's Keanu Reeves wears one in Speed, but anything else that you can think of that's a bit left field, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can get one of those in, and we'll take a look at it. Maybe we'll do a little bit of an under the radar, lesser known movie watches series. But that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers for now.